James Gunn's Superman fails as a film. Here's what happened.
This theme is so good!
James Gunn's Superman feels like one of those hour-long specials of a Saturday morning cartoon without letting you watch any of the other previous episodes that came before it. Now, I stopped doing movie reviews at a certain point because who cares? I could not stay silent here, though, so here I am looking like we're doing an ISIS recruitment video. Now, I'm not going to go into my overall thoughts on DC, the previous universe, Superman, or anything, because, again, who cares? This is why I think James Gunn's Superman is a failure as a film. And because we don't see the main couple a lot, you can't really feel... Wait, I feel like we just started in, like, the middle of the video. Like, the video started and you get the gist, but it feels like there should have been a lot more before this so that you understand a little bit more. We are separating this review into 4 categories: Superman and Lois, supporting supers, 2-act structure, and the evil of excess. Just stick with it. This is the shortest section of the video, just a little appetizer, just something easy to start off with. Clark and Lois start this movie off in a bit of a rough spot in their relationship. It seems that they are arguing a bit more than they usually do, and maybe this relationship wasn't such a good idea, given that one of them is already a superhero. Got it. But are they usually like this? It just feels like this emotional divide between them would be a little more impactful if we knew what they were like together and knew why they love their person so much. I mean, yeah, they kiss for a bit and Clark is making her some dinner, but is this normal? Because it doesn't seem like Clark breaks into her place a lot. This dynamic isn't fleshed out much, and I really feel like it would have had a little more oomph to their last kiss in the air if we knew how much these people cared for each other. But we don't. Next section. When I saw the trailers for this one, I thought, ooh, that looks kind of crowded. I mean, there's already another very high-profile DC character right there. But I had faith that they wouldn't screw it up again. They wouldn't. They couldn't. I mean, it's called Superman, so these other characters will only be in it for a bit, right? Well, they introduce multiple superheroes here, which wouldn't be so much of a problem if they had already made some other movies introducing us to Superman. Hell, Spider-Man Homecoming had Iron Man in it, so what's the big whoop? Ignore my drawings. Oops. The difference is we had already had an introduction to Spider-Man in a previous film, and we had had several introductions to Iron Man throughout a plethora of other films that were dedicated to him. We know who these characters are, and their backstories, as much as the plot needs, have been made very clear to us. Here, we're just kind of expected to know who Green Lantern is, which is fine, I recognize him, but I don't know what the fuck a Lantern Oath is. I didn't already know that he was an alien. Is he an alien? Did he imply that? I mean, fuck, his powers aren't even explained here. We're changing things about Superman's backstory, more on that in a moment, so maybe this guy's abilities are different. I don't fucking know. How am I supposed to care about this character saving the day when I don't even know who he is? The attitude of, you get it, why do we have to explain any further, is also attributed to our titular character. They assume that we just know the iteration of this character's story because we've seen the fucking logo before. But do I really know it? Because in past iterations, his father is dead. Kevin Costner got eaten by a fucking tornado. Here, his father is well and alive.
Hey, Sean, how's it going?
So no, I actually don't feel like I know Superman's story, or at least this version. So maybe don't start in Act 2 of your story and expect me to feel caught up. Which brings me to our penultimate section of this video. I think that this film has 2 really long acts in place of a 3-act structure. In a non-origin superhero film, it is important to start off with your character having a day in the life. It's a way to show your audience this is what this character does in their day-to-day life. This is who they are. That way, when something strange comes along, we feel the impact of that strange thing even more because it is breaking a cycle that we know to be true. We feel the stakes of that strange thing just a bit more. Once again, Spider-Man Homecoming does this wonderfully, showing Peter yearning to save people, but being stuck giving people directions or performing tricks and flips for people. Then when Vulture comes into play, we understand why this matters to him so much because It's not one of these things, it is a strange occurrence. In James Gunn's Superman, we start with the strange occurrence. Superman's first lost battle. It's implied in text that this is strange, but we're not told in text what Superman's day-to-day world is like. How often is he fighting villains? If he's fighting them almost every day, we might understand why this is such a big deal. But we just don't know. We're starting our story off with the stakes all out of whack, and it feels like we're already in Act 2 where our hero faces a loss. Furthermore, bigger picture-wise, this movie features Superman fighting, apparently more than usual with Lois, Metropolis turning against him, several other superheroes coming to his aid, and a clone of himself that he has to fight. Are these not all things that sound like they should be in the second or third installment of this franchise? I mean, these are some pretty big story beats that I feel like would fit into this universe better once we've established this universe and this character fully. Even a montage among some opening credits would have been helpful. Something along the lines of Spider-Man 3, where you get some visuals as to what happened in the previous versions before, and they go, hey, here's what happened, and now here we are. Also, Spider-Man 3 is another superhero film where the main couple is arguing more, but the difference is we've had 2 films before it to build them up as a romantic couple. So, that brings me to my final point.
Harry Potter theme song.
The evil of excess. This movie is running with seemingly every idea that came to the table. There's a scene in a pocket dimension where Superman is trying to save a baby from drowning in an anti-proton river while Lex Luthor's cyborgs are following close behind along with the baby's element-transforming father, while Lois and Mr. Terrific are trying to get everyone to safety through a portal that is slowly collapsing to the real world. Also, there's a black hole. The whiplash this film gives its audience wouldn't be so painful if a lot of these elements had been established, but they just haven't. I'm not too smart a fella, so I don't really know what an anti-proton river is. What is it? Why can't Superman get out of it? Obviously, it hurts him a little bit, but why? All of these questions I have, but we're not going to get an answer to them because we have 7 other things going on. The most baffling part about all of this is that they didn't need to do it. All you need is Superman, Lois, and Lex Luthor. Excuse my handwriting. Obviously, you can shape out the world and the universe and the movie with other existing characters, but it's Superman. He's going to sell tickets because he's Superman. There's no need to add 5 other superhero beings who can all fly, by the way. I mean, fuck, when he flies in this movie for the first time, he just does it. A man flies in the air, and he just does it. I don't need to go all in on Man of Steel. I told you that I wouldn't really go into the other DC movies and how I felt about them, but when he flies in that movie for the first time, you feel it. There was momentum. It wasn't just a throwaway power. Now, almost as soon as you're introduced to a flying man, there are a bunch of other superheroes that can also just fly. Everyone can fly. Jimmy Olsen can probably fly. Who knows? He gets the same amount of backstory. And that engineer girl is too powerful, by the way. Way overpowered. She can just do anything.
Home Alone is also a score that John Williams did. Home Alone. Fucking Home Alone.
Now, it's conclusion time. Are you guys happy? I mean, this was supposed to be DC's equivalent of shaking their Etch-a-Sketch and just starting anew. And what they've come up with is a messy, unfocused, loud, and admittedly nice-looking film that, sure, isn't directed by Zack Snyder. But is this the best Superman fans can get? A movie that even the most positive reviews said was overcrowded with characters and plot lines. Regardless of whether or not that's adapting the source material well, that does not make for a good film. Neither does poorly establishing a main romance, starting your film with a weak first act, or writing a scene where an alien mutant baby needs to get away from cyborgs in an anti-proton river. I'm getting mad. My prediction is that this is the best that we can get. They won't see these issues as issues because these opinions will be seen as part of the vast minority. Too many people are rating this 4 out of 5 stars max. They can now make any of their solo superhero films a team-up movie because, hey, it worked in Superman, regardless of the damaging effects that can have on a story. You deserve more from studios. You deserve more 5 out of 5 films. You deserve better. What a waste. I should probably end it with some kind of nice note at the end. At time of filming this, Bruno Mars and Harry Styles are releasing albums within a week of each other. Okay, peace. I'm not going to make this a regular thing.
What other scores did John Williams... He did the fucking BFG soundtrack? You wasted some of the last years of this man's life so that he could do the BFG... Has anyone even seen...